It's still happy hour with John Gaskins. This round's on me.
Yeah, baby! Look who's here. Jim Olander, President, Sioux Falls Stampede. Best 72 hours or so after a fourth Clark Cup. You've been here for all of them?
I have been here for all four, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
President and play-by-play announcer of the Sioux Falls Stampede. And it never ends. The party never ends. We thought it did yesterday. They were hanging out at Barrel House yesterday, coaches, players, with the cup.
Yep.
With anybody who wanted to come by and take a picture with it and drink out of it, right?
That's right. You got to celebrate. You got to bring it. We'll get it. We're going to get that thing all over town, that's for sure.
That 12-hour, how long was the bus ride? 12 hours or so?
Yeah, the bus ride's a little over 12 hours,
Okay.
yeah.
Did you guys, after you scored the game-winning goal, did you get to go? I mean, I'm sure nobody really wanted to sleep.
They stayed at the hotel and
they did. Okay.
Celebrated, and then the next morning got up and headed back to Sioux Falls.
Okay, that must have been a fun bus ride.
Yeah,
Or was
I wasn't.
tired?
I actually wasn't on the
You
bus
weren't?
ride this time. Nope. I'm
Okay.
getting old, and I had brought my family, so we went separately. But
Okay.
I've heard some stories, and yes, I think it was a fun bus ride.
Well, I guess we'll have to hear the stories from Ryan
Yes,
Cruthers, the head
yeah.
coach. He's going to show up at Gateway Lounge here. It's a Wednesday afternoon just after 3 p.m. And, 24 hours ago, you were hanging out with the cup at Barrel House, and then the celebration at the Birdcage. Last night, our own Trent Singer was there, and he wrote a column, covered the celebration, took videos and pictures. That's all up there at SiouxFallsLive.com. But we're kind of taping before Ryan gets here, so we can give him a big hero's welcome. Get this
Deservingly
joint
so.
jumping.
Yes.
But the proverbial, have you come down from the high yet? I mean, are you still waking up? This is what, the 1, 2, 3, 4th morning you've woken up and you've won the Clark Cup, and you just kind of go, we won the Clark Cup.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. It has, because we've just had a lot going on, and obviously the celebration on Saturday night, then traveled home on Sunday. We got, Sunday night was the rival of the team, and we had our amazing fans at 11:30 at night, and there he is.
Oh, look who's here! Hey, Sioux Falls Stampede coach is here, folks.
Hey guys,
Clark Cup champions.
thanks for having me.
You bet. Ryan Cruthers is here. Who else do we have?
Trevor Kleckner, Coach Kleckner.
Well, hi, Coach Collector.
Coach Kleckner, come say hi to everyone.
Thanks for stopping by.
No, you get in the camera and then get out of here.
Good to see you, Trevor Kleckner.
Good to see you. Yes.
Jim Olander, pleasure.
Jim Olander. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, appreciate it. We were just mentioning how Jim did not partake in the fun on the bus on the way home. So we're just going to have to get your perspective. Or is what happens on the bus stays on the
There's
bus?
blue collar guys, and he had the flight. No, he actually had his family there, so there wasn't a lot of sleeping on the bus. It was a good time. Guys had a great time and got home safe. But that's who we were all year. We like spending time with each other, and to be able to sit on the bus and go through 12 hours on the way home and reflect on the season we had was a lot of fun. Just telling stories from game 5 to game 1 when we lost 5-1. Guys just telling stories together and hanging out. It was a great time.
We okay on the audio, Cordell? Is everything okay? Okay. They're going to share the microphones. Okay. So, Jimmy was just kind of talking about how it still feels surreal. It's been 72 hours. You've had 4 straight mornings where you've woken up. Now, he's had 4 of these, which has its own, unique charm and feel to it. It's the first one in 7 years, but it's your first as the coach of the Stampede. So, what have the last 72 hours been like?
Been amazing. This community is unbelievable. From Monday, it was a holiday, so my neighborhood was all celebrating and loved that we won, and I had the cup for the morning, and then the guys had it. And then yesterday the parade, and it's just been every day is like something else. And we went to lunch, and then our players went to Pizza Shop. It's been great to us, and they were there with the cup, and it's cool to see this community embrace this group. And today was our exit meetings. It's kind of a sad day as a coach, and no matter how close you are with the team, you never get the whole group together. And I had never won one at the USHL level, but I've won 4 others, and we get together for reunions and we get together for weddings and things, but it's never the whole group. And you know what? Today was the last day of the whole group together, and it's bittersweet, but we got the ultimate goal and the ultimate prize, and we're enjoying it.
Well, I mean, we'll kind of walk our way back, but we'll stick with the last 24 hours because 24 hours ago you said you hadn't slept yet.
Yeah.
So did you get any sleep overnight here, Tuesday into Wednesday?
I got a little bit, not a lot, but
Okay.
a little
I mean,
bit.
You have 2 young kids too, right?
I do. I got
kids.
2 young kids. They were in the parade. It was amazing. And then I spent the rest of my night with Jimmy, and we had a great time. And we got home late.
Well, good. Yeah. Okay. All right. You got to get out of the house.
Got out of the house.
Okay. All right. You got to celebrate a little, catch up. What was it like at Barrel House yesterday?
Barrel House is so. I'm very superstitious, as everyone knows, and Barrel House is a place that we would go to sometimes and for lunch or whatever. And we went twice during the playoffs, and the game after we went, we lost both. So I banned the Barrel House. Coach Collector didn't like that. He lives next door to the Barrel House. I think he sleeps there most nights. But I banned the Barrel House. I said no one's allowed to go to the Barrel House till the playoffs are over. And then I got a FaceTime before Game 5 it was Game 4 against Fargo. And I look at the ceiling, and my wife and kids are in Barrel House. And I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, we didn't know the rules apply to us. I'm like, yeah. So they were there. But we went back yesterday to kind of recap everything with our GM and hung out all afternoon. And it was a great time before the parade.
Yeah. And again, fans had a chance to take pictures with the
Yeah,
club.
I met some of your favorite people in
Sure.
the world. Yeah, they were speaking very highly of you,
Okay.
and they were
probably
enjoying
a
some
little drunk.
drinks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were
So,
done with that.
you're in
No,
a
they
good mood.
had great things to say about you, and we had a good time with the fans.
Yeah,
there.
I wanted to go. I just couldn't get out of work. If I would have, I would have worked there. But it's okay. We're here. We knew we would be here, and that's great. And then the celebration at the Birdcage. First of all, Jimmy, how did that come about? Why was that the venue that was chosen, and how did it play out?
I think we wanted to have a spot where we knew we'd have a good turnout. I was very confident that we would have a lot of fans, and with the season we've had, and just kind of thinking through, and Coach and I had talked before, kind of. He has always been wanting a parade, and I was kind of like, well, I can kind of get you one. Like, it's going to be kind of a parade. So we were able to work with one of our sponsors, Rosenbauer, and they were great, and, got us some huge fire trucks for the guys to be on. And the whole point was just to, kind of have a grand entrance into the stadium and let the fans be able to cheer. And everybody came out, and, they're on the sidewalk cheering for the guys. And then we had the fire trucks and police come right in front of them and get a chance to see the players. So, something that I know I'm not going to forget anytime soon, and I could only imagine being a player and being on the truck and, experiencing that in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And, we talked to the players about it, and I mentioned it in my speech yesterday too. I mean, they're never going to have another team like this, and I don't think they're going to go on to a lot of bigger and better things, but I don't think they're going to be in a community like this. They're not going to be around a fan base like this again. So for them to get to experience that one more time, I think it's pretty special.
Okay, so I'll ask you, and then I want to get Ryan's answer. When you say that they're never going to have a team like this, what do you mean by that?
I've been around obviously a lot of teams, and this one was special. Just Coach talked a lot about them being family, about the culture, and credit to him. He's obviously a great coach and has proven that, and he got these guys to buy in to his system and to playing as a team, and there were no egos on this team. I mean, everybody loved everybody. I mean, I saw it from just traveling with the team for lunches. Usually during a season you'll see little pockets where 3 or 4 guys kind of hang out for lunch together, and it's kind of the same guys all the time, or they're going to to Chipotle together or whatever. And this team literally did everything together, and it was always somebody different sitting with somebody else at lunch or a pregame meal or whatever it was, and you could just tell. And again, backs up against the wall 4 times this playoff. When you're talking about teenagers and it's getting nice out, I mean, nobody would have faulted them at all, but it'd been pretty easy to just be like, I want to go home. I'm ready to go home. It's been a long season. I mean, these guys have been here since August.
Wow.
So I mean, it's been basically 9 months of hockey, and they didn't want to. They wanted to. I think that's what powered us through, is they did not want to leave Sioux Falls. They didn't want to leave this team, and ultimately it helped us and pushed us to winning the cup.
Ryan, what does it mean to you? Well, first of all, when he says they'll never have a team like this. The guys on the team will never be on a team like that. But for you, how is this unique to even any team you've coached on? You've said you've coached winning teams, which I'm sure some of them had. Yeah,
they all have their
titles,
different
chemistry.
stories and storylines. I just want to go back to the parade and what Jim did and what I put him under. I said it to the guys. You do different things to motivate them, and I one day I was like, you know how good it's going to feel when we're in the parade and we're in Sioux Falls, and then we started winning more and more, and I was like, Jim, we're probably going to need a parade. I don't want to lie to the guys. We're going to have to do a parade here. He was like, I'm like, I don't know, but we got to figure something out. And that parade yesterday, like what the community did for us, and Jim and Rosenbauer, and I mean, that stuff, for me, it gives me chills. I just had lunch with my staff, and all we did was watch videos of the parade the whole time. And because none of us ever experienced anything like that. I mean, to stand on top of a fire truck and people cheering for you, and there was cars stopping and honking, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I want to do it again. But yesterday was the best moment I've had, other than when Joey Macrina scored that goal. Yeah. Yesterday was just like a surreal experience that I want to cherish forever.
Okay, so paint the picture for those who weren't there, how the parade worked. Like, was there a little bit of a cavalcade into the stadium?
Yeah, so we had them come down West Avenue, and we had all of our we had people in the birdcage starting at 6 o'clock. We asked them to come out at 6:30 and kind of line up at the edge of the parking lot there near the street, and we had the trucks come by, and they basically passed, and obviously they're on the other side of the street. So then we had them come into the parking lot, and then they made their way and drove right past the fans, and then right up to the bird cage where they hopped off and got into the stadium to get ready for the ceremony.
And what kind of a crowd did we see?
Amazing. I mean,
I don't know.
I think
our guys were there for 3 hours signing autographs after. I mean, and they love doing it. And I think we talked about that at lunch, is that, you know, season's over, we won, they're kids, who knows what they want to do, but to sit on the infield of the birdcage for 3 hours and sign autographs with smiles on their face, that's the type of character that we had. Like, to me, that was the defining moment. If people ask why we won, watch those guys sign autographs when their season's over and they're on to other things, or they're got a flight tomorrow out of town, and they sat there and they took pictures and they signed autographs and they hugged their fans. And to me, that the group is so cool. It's like, it's not miracle, like it wasn't that, but it kind of was in the way in which we went about it. Those guys loved each other, and that was the only way this team could win, was with that, and they did it.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought that up, because I brought it up yesterday in my own little monologue essay about the team, just based off of the kinds of things both of you had told me in earlier interviews this season. And but, you know, you've always used blue collar. You're a Long Island guy. That's a blue collar thing, and some guys who had been cut from other teams and all that. And you kind of, this was purposeful how you kind of put that together. You and Tony Gasparini, and so I guess I'll ask you the question: in what parallels were there to the way Herb Brooks put together that team? Everybody's seen the movie. Everybody knows the story.
Yeah.
But the story starts with who he decides to put on that team, who he thinks can actually go out there and achieve something. And I'm guessing that's all this was very intentional on your part.
There was, but there's a balance. Like, Tony and I, we don't always see eye to eye, and I think that's what makes us special together. We complement each other extremely well. You think about the Miracle movie, and Herb hands the roster over, and they just started. It's like day one. And it wasn't that, but there's been moments where Tony's been like, Ryan, no, it's him. And I'm telling you, trust me, and I resist and push back, and then it turns out to be him. And there's times where I've said, hey, Tony, like, this is non-negotiable. This is the guy. And I think that's what makes him a great GM, is that we feed off of each other, we believe in each other, we trust each other. And this team, though, because of the rule change that went on, we don't have to get into all that, but like, we lost 7 forwards in the summer. Replacing 7 of your best forwards is hard to do, but when we went about replacing them, we said, okay, we're not looking for this talent or that talent. We need the right pieces right now, because it's too late in the summer. And then that's when you add a Macrina, and then you get a Chua midway through the year. Just little pieces. Thomas Holtby was a guy, when we lost Ritter Coombs, we went and got Thomas Holtby. So like, there was a method to the madness, and a lot of it, though, was, for me, building off our culture. I wanted guys that knew each other. I wanted the new guys we brought in. I wanted the ones that were here. They wanted those guys here. So I called those guys and said, hey, who do you like? Do you like this kid? You played with him before. Was he a good teammate? Do you want him in our locker room? And that's how we built this team. And the players deserve as much credit as Tony, myself, Jim, whoever. Like, they're the ones who decided who they wanted in their locker room and who they wanted to do this with. And I think that's ultimately why we became a family so quick.
I mean, Jim, how would you describe the identity and the personality of this team? And did you have a sense, 40-plus wins last year under your first-year head coach, so that was some nice momentum. But what did you sense then? And after 74 games, how will you remember this identity?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it starts with Ryan and his staff. I mean, they get the guys to buy in. He knows the players he wants, and it's not, with every coach, right? It's some players it's not a right fit, and sometimes there's trades, and we've seen it all along. And we've had it in Sioux Falls, and where we maybe traded someone and they do really well, and people are like, oh, why'd you get rid of him? Well, they didn't fit here, but they might fit somewhere else, and vice versa. We might get somebody, Thomas Zoko, that wasn't fitting in Fargo and fit very well for us and ends up being our leading scorer. So yeah. I mean, there's
fourth in the league.
There's all kinds of different stories, but I think the coaching staff has just done a tremendous job of getting the right guys and getting them to buy in and getting that team first mentality. And I say it because look at where we are in this age of sports where, let's be honest, it's not really a lot about teams anymore. It's me at the professional level. I feel like it's getting, unfortunately, that way at the collegiate level with NIL money. And, it's just the guys are more worried about how do I get to that next spot? And obviously our guys want to move on. They want to get to the NHL, but, Coach has done such a great job of making sure that they can still accomplish those goals, but doing it as a team and helping everybody else. And that's, going to make them better human beings in life, and is going to make them better hockey players too. Because I think the fun thing is now you watch on, and over the years of the Stampede, it's been fun to see our former captains. Like a lot of our former captains go on to be captains of collegiate teams, pro teams, and it starts here. So what they learned here, and even the guys that aren't captains are probably going to eventually be a captain someday. But I think they take that, what they learned here in Sioux Falls, and apply it to their team and at the next level, and it all starts here, which I think is special.
All right, I'm going to stick with Jim Olander here and take me back to the hiring of Ryan Cruthers as the head coach. I know he had been an assistant for a year, and then he went and coached in another league in North Carolina for a year. Yep. So you're familiar with him, but who was the brain trust that hired him? Take me back to why you landed on him.
So I got to know Ryan pretty well, obviously, when he was an assistant here, and we became pretty good friends, and we stayed in touch. And when he left, the first thing he told me and Tony was, hey, I got to take this opportunity, but if the head coaching job ever becomes available in Sioux Falls, I want to be your first call. And as the next season dwindled down, we just felt like we had a really good team, but we just weren't getting over that hump and to that next level, and we were kind of middle of the pack. And we were at a point with the Stampede where it was like, we need to do something, right? Like we need a fresh voice. We've had too many years here where we're not, like, just getting to the playoffs is not acceptable in our minds for the Stampede. We're not patting ourselves on the back just to get a playoff appearance. We need to get to that next level. And so anyway, when we decided to make the move, I talked to Tony Gasparini, and Tony handles a lot of the hockey stuff. I let these guys handle a lot of that, but when it comes to this, I wanted to be involved a little bit, and I said, we have to call, right? And he's like, yep. And so we talked about it, and I said, there's nobody else to talk to. Just talk to Ryan. Can we get him here? Can we make it work? He's, the only thing we were really nervous about was that he obviously was from Carolina and his family was there, and was he going to want to move here and move his family? And, any sports, that's difficult. But we talked to him. We didn't talk to anybody else, and we were able to make it work. And, I just knew from his experience and his work ethic and what he can do, I knew it was going to be a good fit. I knew this was going to be a guy and that was going to get us to that next level. And it started last year, and it only took 2 years to get here. And
so I'll follow up with you. Obviously, you were familiar with him, but he was on the previous coaching staff. So what did you see in that year that you thought, okay, we should take him from assistant and he's the head coach,
Well,
to take us to the next
I
level.
think
What
for
about
one
him?
that I don't think maybe everyone remembers, but I mean, Ryan was a head coach, so he was. It was unique to have. He wasn't your I don't want to call him a typical assistant coach that it's his first gig, or a lot of times in our league, right? This is an entry level. This isn't a first opportunity for guys to kind of get that upper level of hockey. And he had coached the Chicago Steel. He had coached obviously pro. He had coached the North American Hockey League. So it was a different feel, and just his relationship that he had with the players, and you could just tell that they were buying into what he was teaching, and his special teams work, the players he was working with, the number of guys we had that he worked with that were drafted was impressive. So it was evident right then and there that and obviously he gets a head coaching job in professional hockey. It's he's not your average first year assistant coach with the team, and to Ryan's credit too, like he could have never come to Sioux Falls, and he could have just tried to be a head coach somewhere else, and he really wanted to be in this league. That's what he told us. I'm willing to come back and take what I'm guessing was a fairly significant pay cut to come to Sioux Falls and but he just wanted that opportunity, and again he made the most of it, and here we are today.
Well, Ryan, we learned a little bit about your background growing up in Long Island, and a little bit about your coaching career before you got to Sioux Falls when we chatted with you February 25th. If anyone wants to Google that, learn more about Ryan's story on Happy Hour Ryan Cruthers, February 25th. Google it; it'll come up. I've tried. It did. Okay, so you were kind of nodding your head, like leaving a pro hockey league because the Stampede field pro, but they're not. Leaving a pro league you're nodding your head at the significant pay cut. So why?
Well, it was pretty easy, to be honest. I mean, when I came as an assistant coach, it was a significant pay cut, and but I love the junior hockey level. I love it, and it's there's so much you deal with every day that I love. Like a kid walks in and you see his face and something happened. Maybe girlfriend broke up with them. Maybe parents are going, oh, you have no idea, and I love that part of it. And that's what's different than pro hockey is a job. And you're still developing young men to be men. So you get to deal with schools and things like that. It's a lot more than just being a hockey coach, and I love that. But when I came to Sioux Falls for that 1 year, this place is special, and you could feel it, and I knew it. And
do you mean the city or just the facilities, the club?
It's everything. It's like the fan base, and this city it's such a cool city to me, and it's like a mini NHL city, but you're doing it at the junior hockey level, which I love, and it just has so many elements to it. And then obviously spent a lot of time with Jim on the bus and be like, this organization's the best in the world, and I knew I wanted to come back here. And I give Chuck Norris was my owner and business partner in North Carolina with the pro team.
We went through the Chuck Norris jokes.
Yeah, and he's you know what, I look up to him a ton. He's a mentor of mine. He's a very successful businessman, not just hockey owner. And when he recruited me to leave Sioux Falls and coach at the pro level, he said, just promise me you won't leave me. And I said, the only way I leave you is if Jim Olander calls and offers me Sioux Falls. So it went back and forth, and actually Chuck was out here and got to meet Jim. His son was in our camp a year ago, and you need people in your corner that believe in you and the way that you work and support you. And I remember calling Chuck and being like, hey, I got bad news. He's like, don't tell me Sioux Falls called. I'm like, they called.
Yeah.
So
wow.
To come here and be a head coach in the USHL, which to me is the greatest junior league in the world, and the caliber of kids I get to work with, and then to do it here, there's 15 other teams in the league, and it's not Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls is the best building, the best fans, the best owners, the best city. It's everything. So it was a no-brainer.
What makes them the best owners? When you say just the quality of the club itself, what do you mean by that?
You know what? When I was here as an assistant, I met one owner once, and that was it. And then I wanted to make a point of getting to know them, and I think they felt the same way with us. I saw them around more, but I did a staff retreat this year, and I had an owner each day do a Zoom presentation to our coaches and tell us about them and who they are as people and how they ended up owning the Stampede and what their expectations were of us. And I thought that really grew our relationship with the ownership, but they're always supporting, and I've never gotten a text from an owner that's like, oh, you better win tonight, or you know what, we need to do this or that. It's just, what do you need? How can we support you? Love what you're doing. very complimentary and just very supportive, and you don't have that everywhere. So to have owners that are just there to support you and what you need to do to win, it's a great feeling. And then that bleeds down into Jim and Tony, and I just feel so comfortable here. Like I could just be me authentically, and I think that's important.
Yeah, well, it is important. How did we go from last year to this year, where you reach the playoffs, you get home ice, but you broke through this year? What or who was the biggest difference? Either of you.
Well, Linards Feldbergs. If you have a Lenny, you can do anything in life. I've learned that.
Yeah.
I think that's
Well,
we look at each other
start.
and it's like, okay, Lenny's an easy answer.
Yeah.
But then there's no other answer. It's just a team. It's a family, and I can't say it enough. And I don't know. People don't believe us when we talk about this team and what it was, but it was always next man up. This was very hard what we did. We were in first place for most of the year. We had the bye, home ice, and we had a target on our back all year. But we were never this superpower that was healthy and talented. And they all had talent, but they used it together. So, I could tell you November, Brett Solomon was a big reason. I could tell you in January, Brett Solomon was not an outcast, but he was non-existent. He was going through a slump, so it was Joey Macrina, right? And then it's Noah Manisow, and it's Marcus Jacobson, and then it's, whoever. Logan Rankowski scored 42 goals. We don't ever talk about him. I told him the other day, I said, I feel bad every time we do interviews, I never talk about Logan Rankowski. Logan Rankowski is probably one of the biggest reasons we won. Yeah. And he doesn't get talked about because he doesn't care. He's just the captain, the leader, calm, and he scores goals like no other. So, he's a big reason. And for me, the guys that decided to come back and be a part of this again, Matthew Grimes is a kid who has been in the league 3 years. Last year, he thought it was going to be his big year, and he gets to play all the time and do everything. And now a new head coach comes in, and I know Matthew, and it didn't go easy for him. And he's very talented. He could have left us and gone anywhere he wanted to. And he was like, no, I believe in what you're doing. I believe in this. And it's those stories that's why we broke through. We broke through because we had a collective group. And Lenny.
What's that?
And Linards Feldbergs.
Okay. I thought you said and money. I'm like, guys, you're not supposed to pay the players. Yeah.
Well, some teams.
Somebody will help. The team we beat did.
Well, anything to add to that answer,
Yeah,
Jim?
I think, starting with Lenny, I think if you look at championship teams, you have to have a good goaltender. You can have the best players in the world, but if you don't have a good goalie, Lenny was something special, though. I've been fortunate to see a lot of good goalies here, and I just said the other day, he might be the best goalie that's ever come out of Sioux Falls. We're talking, and that's not we have Jeremy Swayman, Charlie Lindgren in the NHL, Jackson Stauber won us a cup. There's just something about him, and I think what was really a couple of things. One, this coach was mentioning that I think gets lost is, I think probably what made us better down the stretch too was that we had so many injuries that everybody got to play. And you had guys that probably, in all honesty, probably wouldn't have played if we were healthy, would have been scratches. But they got to play, and not only did they play, though, but they stepped up, and they found ways. And guys, even a Thomas Holtby, who's a tough physical guy, all of a sudden he starts scoring goals for us, and he starts making plays. And, he rose to the occasion and saw his opportunity and took it. And there were a lot of guys like that they got an opportunity to come out and play. And I really do think down the stretch it made us better, because then when we finally got healthy into the playoffs, again, we didn't have a lot of options, but everyone was you weren't having to throw someone in that maybe played 15 games all season, and now all of a sudden you're asking them to go play in the playoffs. And with a lot of teams, that can happen when you have injuries. So I think that was a big piece of it. And then I told Coach in the post-game interview, I thought it was really fitting how we won the cup, because not only as he's always said, no easy victories, and we made it hard on ourselves, but here you have, in one play, you have Linards Feldbergs making 2 unbelievable saves. You have, Brock Schultz diving across to knock it away. Macrina knocks it off the boards, and Lenny's been the backbone of the team, and then the team has used that to fuel themselves. And sure enough, he makes incredible saves, and we go down and we score the game winner and we win it. And I think, and one thing too, I'll add that I think is pretty cool that I didn't, as I was calling the game, I'm just, excited and obviously
Yeah.
losing my mind. I'm not really paying attention. And when I went back and watched, I was realizing that like nobody's really hugging Joey Macrina. He's throwing his
Yes!
stuff in the air, and they're all because
He's Jim
they're-
Valvano out
because
there.
because they're going to Lenny. You
Yeah.
know, and it wasn't nothing against Joey. I mean, he got the game winner, but that's the team, and you don't see that very often. What happens in an overtime, usually everybody goes to the guy who scored and he's the hero, but everybody on this team knew, like, hey, that doesn't happen if this guy doesn't play out of his mind, and
Yeah.
I think that was pretty cool to see.
So, I mean, quick, selfish, personal story. I'm watching, just worked the Sioux Falls Canaries game, and we put it on the big board.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And so I spent the first overtime with some of the fans who stuck around in the club room that was there for Friday and Saturday, and it sold out both nights, guys, for Stampede fans.
That's awesome.
Special, club room, and some of them were season ticket holders who didn't, I don't know what their arrangement was, but they were both Stampede and Canaries fans. Anyway, first overtime, I think Linards had a couple big saves
did,
there
yes.
too. Like,
Big
wow,
bad
that
save,
saved
yep.
the game, but couldn't quite score, and so everybody's kind of on edge. And we all know the night before it was 2-goal lead with 4 minutes left, didn't happen. And sorry to bring up a sore spot. Canaries fans are having serious PTSD because the same situation. Best of 5 series, you're up 2-1, and you're this close, 4 minutes away, 1 inning away, 3 outs away. In Game 4 to win the series 3-1, and it doesn't happen. And so then we're hoping history doesn't repeat itself for the Canaries. Or for the Stampede. Anyway, I'm going to go now over into the booth with Randy Preston, who's the PA announcer for the Stampede, also for the Canaries, and the two people that are always in there with him, Christine, the video, also the video game. What do you call her out there? She's in charge of the.
Yeah, she runs the show.
The show. She runs the show. I mean, basically anything that's not the hockey and Randy, it's Christine on the video board. She does that at Canaries as well. Anyway, we see the 2 saves, bing bing there in the double overtime with, and we're all. I'm not a huge hockey expert, but they know a good save when they see one, and we're listening to your calls. So like, if Jimmy's getting this excited about a save, you're not going to just say that willy nilly. I mean, they're all big when it gets to that point.
Right.
Anyway, the second save happens, and Macrina's able to pick up the puck, all of us are just yelling, "Go, go, come on, go!" It's like, take advantage of this. Don't let this rest on a great save. Like, this is it, score the goal. And we believed it, but we couldn't believe it. Like, it just ended right there. And we've already played the call to start the interview, but this is where we play Jimmy's call again because I can't hear it enough.
Flipped in the air, and it's knocked away by Betzold. Here's Vukas, shot, tip, save, rebound, knocked away, it comes free. Another save by Feldbergs. What a save! A tremendous glove save. He was on the ice, and here come the herd. Macrina along with Schultz, 2-on-1. Macrina shoots, he scores! He scores! He scores! Joey Macrina, the overtime winner, and the Stampede are Clark Cup champions. Yeah! Baby!
Okay. Oh man, it was just you got everything on the spot, plus the excitement, plus everything, the stamp on it and everything. How many times have you played that call?
Everyone asked me that yesterday, and I didn't have it really. A couple times on the bus, but like not to like really soak it in and watch the game yesterday, and it's funny when you watch it and you hear Jim call it, and then you look. But as a coach, and we were sitting as coaches, I'm like, what were we doing here? Like the lead up to Lenny's saves might be the worst hockey sequence we've had all year, and
really?
It's just like, yeah, but they're kids, and they're like, Ryder Betzold sat in my living room yesterday, and we watched it together, and it's like we're doing film, and the season's over, but I'm like, Betsy, what were you doing here? He's like, Coach, I have no idea. He's like, you have no idea how scared I was once. I'm like, why? He's like, oh man, I knew it was going to be bad if this didn't go our way. But it's like, and he goes, but if I don't make that bad play, we don't win. I'm like, yeah. So it's like,
Good point.
yeah, it's like cool
Yes.
stuff like that. Watching it, I agree with Jim, like the celebration, I don't think I've never seen anyone or team celebrate like that, where they rush to their goalie unless it's a shootout in the regular season. But to win a cup, everyone goes to the overtime hero, and the overtime hero happened to be two people. It was Lenny and it was Joey, and Joey's a heart and soul guy. He'll be one of our captains next year. And yeah, it is fun to watch, and then like I cry a ton. The guys make fun of me because I've been crying for like 3 weeks or 3 days.
Sure.
But there's just like so many moments with guys that you go through hard times and good times, and then that my dad was there and my youngest son was there, and like we lost game 3, and there's kids like talking trash to my 11-year-old son, and it's like, all right. And then to see him on the ice like with the cup, and knowing that those people were in that building that had things to say to him, and then to me it's like the best feeling in the world. And Jim's kids were there, and both Jim's kids have played youth hockey for me. And then like even last night that I watched, I don't remember it going out and celebrating with the guys, but to have like Brooks Salama was like in my hands and we're like celebrating, and he's a youth kid that played for me. But I think that's something that we've done in this community that's different. Like we've generated a youth hockey program that believes in what we do and our coaching, and not just hockey coaching, but like development. So I don't know, there's so many moments when you look back at that goal. It's like Joey Macrina was the last guy we took this summer. To see Ethan and Eli out on the ice celebrating, and I'm on the ice with them all the time, see my son, then to go to the parade yesterday, it's just like that's us. That's Sioux Falls Stampede. It's a community now.
Yeah. I want to hear more about both Macrina and Linards. I mean, I'd love to hear about every guy on the team if we had time, but I'll start with the goalie that everybody rushed to. I mean, take us behind the curtain of his personality, day in, day out, as a gamer on the ice. Just
I think I had my first full conversation with him like yesterday. He's just he goes about his business. He's a pro. He really is. And him and Brandon Weldon, our goalie coach, associate head coach, they have a relationship too. But the amount of off days we had during the playoffs, just because we were injured, we were banged up, but a goalie wants to stay sharp. Lenny's at the rink every day wanting to go on the ice, wanting to get better. He never stopped wanting to get better. But he's very calm demeanor. Like we pulled our goalie one time all year, and it was in Lincoln in the playoffs because I just wanted to talk to him, and I put him back in the net. But to go through a whole season and not have to pull your goalie and change him out, like, is impressive. And I think that's what's great about him is he could give up a weak goal early or whatever, and he just stays the same. And as a coach, all you ask for is a goalie that makes you feel comfortable, like you could win every night. And Lenny made me feel like I could do anything. And our style of play too is very high risk, high reward. Okay. And you need a great goalie like that that fits that style. And he did that, because when we give up a chance, it's usually a really good one.
You kind of got to want it, don't you? Like you got to want, like, okay, shoot 50 pucks at me tonight.
Yeah, but there's times with him where, in the playoffs we gave up, I don't know, Jim probably knows that, but it might be 7 5-on-5 goals. Like we gave up a lot of 6-on-5, and we're going to work on that. And we gave up some shorthanded goals, which is us. But we really found a way to defend hard in the right way, and the pucks, if Lenny can see it, he's going to save it. And I thought our team did a great job. As much as Lenny bailed us out a ton when we made mistakes, I thought our guys did a really good job of lightening his workload in critical times. And like Lenny's going to be in the NHL. It's just a matter of time.
Is he the best we've had here? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
I mean, yeah, he's. I think he probably is, and we've had a lot of great goaltenders.
Yep.
So it says a lot about him. And I think the other thing to add too with Lenny is just he's so calm and collected in the net. And many post-game shows, I would talk to Coach, and we'd kind of get to the end, and I'd be like, oh yeah, and by the way, Lenny played really, because we'd win 4-2, 6-2, but you'd kind of get lost. But what you'd forget is the fact that, he made 4 really big saves in the first period, 2 amazing saves in the second period that gave us that opportunity to win that game. So, and it just, again, we talk about the team, especially with him. I mean, he's just a likable guy. I think that's why the fans love him too, not just because he's a good goalie, but there's no ego. He doesn't think he's, better than anyone else. He just goes about his business and wants to win.
Like I said, I'd love to talk about all the guys, and Zacco was maybe your best offensive player, at least statistically, and that was a guy that was cut by Fargo. But Macrina had the winning goal, and he's like maybe the shortest player in the league, right?
Yeah,
so you got to have some sort of unique personality in athletic competition if you're of that stature.
Well, I think like the crazy thing with Joey Macrina is He's the nicest human, calmest human. Like anywhere I've gone in town this year since Joey Macrina's been here, everyone talks about, I love Joey Macrina. He's my favorite. Whether it's we're getting, our guys go and get IVs and stuff and fluids, and they're like, that little guy Joey Macrina, he's the nicest guy. And then you go to Chipotle and it's like, little guy Joey Macrina. You go to youth practice, Joey Macrina. He's just a great human, but he plays like he's 6'7". I mean, that Fargo and Muskegon, he was out muscling and out beating guys twice his size, and it's because of his heart. And I don't mean heart like, he's tough and cares. He cared about his teammates more than him. He is the ultimate teammate. Like, he was not going to lose a battle because he knew it would disappoint his teammates. And I think it was only, and I'm not saying I'm a psychic, but I said Joey Macrina is going to win this thing for us. I told our coaches in the locker room, I said, Joey Macrina will score a goal and he'll win this for us. And
This
and
was, before the second
overtime?
Oh, my God.
And he did. And it's cool, but I believe in hockey gods, and the hockey gods take care of people like Joey Macrina because of everything he does is the right thing.
Holy smokes. Did he have the winning goal against Fargo in Game 5?
Yes.
Yes, he
Correct,
did,
yep.
to win that series, just to get to the cup.
Yep.
Again, so many crazy things happened just in the overtimes leading to the final sequence, which was crazy itself. So, there's a lot of stories to be told forever and ever. But the way you guys won, the 4-0 in elimination games, being behind and needing to win every game 4 times just to make the finals, a bunch of 1-goal games, and you'd lost the first 2 game 2s, right? Or the first game 2, and then you won the second game 2.
Yeah, we lost the first game 2. We lost
both
game
games.
2 in both series.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And then we never won a game 3.
Nope.
Yeah.
So we lost all the game 3s in all 3 series.
And all 3,
But never lost a game 4.
they all have their own personality, but this game 3 where you're about to sweep the cup. I'm not asking for a post-mortem on how it went from 3-1 to 3-3 and you lost. But what the hell do you? What do you say? What do you do? How do you turn it back around after that? What were the guys like after that? Because they were this close.
That one was heartbreaking just because you're up by 2. Like, you're that close. You start thinking about things.
Yeah.
But then you got to go back to the experiences that you've gained throughout the playoffs. And I remember losing in triple overtime in Fargo to put our backs against the wall, and you're ordering pizzas because the dinner we had was already cold. And then it's just like, how are we going to respond? And I remember we went in the locker room, and Joey Macrina, he goes, so you tell me we got to win 2 games in a row? And guys were like, yeah. And I didn't have to say anything. When we lost in triple overtime, it was like their ownership. They took ownership, and that might have been the most confident I've seen them, was after we lost that game. They were like, no, it's not happening. And then they went out and they did it. And same thing in Muskegon. Like, it happened, went in the room. I was pretty fired up. I was not as calm as I was in the Fargo series because they're this close to greatness, and you want it for them, but they just, JJ kept saying, Montero, who we don't speak enough about either, he's just like, they can't kill us. No one can kill us.
Yeah.
And he's like, guys, no one can kill us. We're good. We'll get it tomorrow. And sure enough, like, you go to the hotel, they're at the meal, and they're fine. And you get up in the morning, and they're happy. And you go to the rink, and they're confident. And you know what? Less than 24 hours later, you're a champion. And it's unbelievable.
That was a hell of a game, right? That was kind of a back and forth game. Did it feel like an even draw the whole time, or?
Yeah, we were probably outplaying them, and I think that was probably the most frustrating. We kind of had them, and I think they were about done. But that's hockey, and we're a block shot, empty net, a goal away from winning 4-1 to. And that's, hockey is a cruel sport, and a lot of times the team that's playing the best, and I think that's when you get to overtime. I think that's, at least for me, is watching games and calling games. I've done it enough that makes you nervous, just because a lot of times the team that's playing the best doesn't always win. They might be outplaying them, but it only takes a fluky play and the puck to bounce the wrong way and the other team to score. But I do think, having said that, I think, and I don't know what Coach felt, but I felt differently in Game 3 than Game 4. I think also Game 3 in overtime, it was deflating. And we weren't playing bad. We had some chances, but it just didn't seem like we were there. And in Game 4, in all honesty, I knew it was going to happen because we were just playing too well. I was just hoping it wasn't going to be some fluky play that they end up scoring. And to be honest, if they did, I feel like we would have came home Game 5 and we'd be talking today about what an amazing Game 5 at home. But I think for everyone, it was as long of a season it's been, and as cool as it would have been to win at home, it was great to finish it. And I think in some ways it made the celebration, everything, even honestly more special because not everyone got to be there and got to be part of it though last night and Sunday night at the Iceplex.
Absolutely. I think there's a part of all of us who are kind of like, well, it'd be cool if they came back for a winner-take-all Game 5, but let's see them get it done now. And so we'll kind of walk it off with this. We know the whole group was tight, and everybody got to hug everybody else. But for both of you, in the moment it happened, you get to make the call. Obviously, I'm sure that was breathtaking. You'd had 3 of them before. Had any of them ended on a walk-off goal like that?
No.
Okay, so that had to be maybe one of your favorite calls ever.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's to get to call an overtime, double overtime game and game winner. I mean, that's pretty cool. And my only fear was I'm glad that everyone thinks it sounds like that it went okay. I was afraid that my voice was going to crack and that it was going to ruin the biggest call of the team's history maybe. And but yeah, it's obviously special and obviously a moment I'm not going to forget. And I even had with my kids there. I mean, I brought Eli on for good luck because Eli's been on the broadcast throughout
he was on the broadcast
and after
double overtime championship game.
After regulation, I said, Eli, you're getting the call. And I think my older son Ethan was a little jealous. I told him he was going to get triple overtime if we didn't, but he was on the headset, and I was worried he was going to knock us off the air because he's jumping up and down, and he takes the headset off and he runs, and then all of a sudden he's gone, and then he comes back, and I'm like, aren't you going to go on the ice? Oh yeah, and he just runs downstairs, and so it's pretty. I mean, that was honestly the coolest thing, and. I can't thank Coach enough. I mean, he treats everyone like family. He treats my family like royalty and my kids. And I think what made this team special, too, is, my kids are on the ice. Brady's on the ice. Our coaches, assistant coaches, Brandon Wildung's son is on. I mean, but they love everybody. And I say that because, they're teenagers and they might kind of be like, hey, this is our moment. What are these kids running around? And that's not, I mean, they're hugging everyone. I mean, the players are hugging our front office staff. They're, it's just a special group and a special moment. And certainly one that I'll never forget because selfishly with them being there, I really wanted to win it with them there and get a chance to have them be on the ice and celebrate because they've never gotten that opportunity before.
And for you, Ryan, what was your perspective? Who were the first people you saw, and we saw that thing go into the net?
It was our staff. I mean, I got pictures of it where it's just, I don't know how many of us were in there hugging, but it's just a family. And I got tackled on both sides, and then our athletic trainer and our equipment manager and everything. It was awesome, and then ran on the ice, and I don't know who I hugged first, but it might have been Macrina or just all the guys, and then it was special because my dad was there, and so he flew in, and I was waving him down to get on the ice, and then Brady was there. Brady, my youngest son came spreading. My oldest son had a hockey tournament, I think similar to Jim now. He feels like he missed something or whatever, but my kids are at every game. They're with these guys all the time, and they really do. I don't think you get to see it in a lot of sports or just anywhere where 17, 18, 19-year-old kids want to be around our kids and be around us. Guys aren't scared to be in an elevator with the president of the team or be on the bus or sit at a table like you go to a team meal and there's a seat here. No one's shy to sit with the staff or whatever. It's just one family. And, if Eli, Ethan, Blake, Brady, Tate, Trace, whoever, all my staff's kids, when they're around, they're part of the group. It's not random to see, my 2 assistants, their sons, Tate and Trace. It's not random to see them with Joey McGraw, skating around. It's not random to see Montero with Ethan and Eli. It's just, we are who we are. We're a family, and it works for us.
Hey, guys, thanks for all the hard work you put into this coming to fruition, and please tell everybody else on behalf. I think you felt the love, but I don't think you guys can be told enough. Thank you for giving this city a thrill. And also, for telling the story of how it became that, because it makes everybody even more proud just of how good of dudes everybody is, and it's nice to see good things happen to good people. So,
well, thank
congrats
you.
once again.
Thank you guys for having us, and we'll be at the Canaries game on Friday night if anyone wants to see the trophy and throw out the first pitch, and we're looking forward to it.
Some of the players going to be there?
Whoever's still in town, I think there's a couple that are coming that are still in town, and it'll be our coaching staff and the trophy, and we'll have a good time.
That'll boost attendance, just another reason to see and enjoy and honor the Sioux Falls Stampede. Jim Olander, the president, play-by-play announcer Ryan Cruthers, the head coach, for video producer Cordell Wright, in the Gateway Lounge. Happy hour, and cheers.
You need anything else, John?
No, I think I'm good, Greg. I think I'm going to tap out.
All right. Have a good night.